Yo, what's up guys? How you doing? Bob here. Thought I'd come on today and talk a little bit about electric blues. We're going to call this video Mandatory Blues. If you've been thinking about getting into the blues or you're into the blues, I suggest that you have all of these records I'm about to show you in your collection. You probably have, all the stuff that we all talk about all the time. Born Under a Bad Sign, Folk Singer, Stevie Ray's Texas Flood. But these are some records that I don't think are talked about quite as much. Now this all started when I went down to Half Price and I found 3 records I've been looking for quite some time. They were super clean, $10 a piece, and I had no choice but to buy them. It sent me down a road of electric blues all week, so that's where I've been, and we're going to talk about it right now. Muddy Waters, at the end of his career, did 3 records with Johnny Winter producing. There's 4 really, but one's a live record. You get Muddy Waters, Hard Again. Yeah. Whoo! Muddy Waters, I'm Ready. And Muddy Waters, King Bee. This is the last studio record from Muddy Waters right before his death. Now, these are all very clean and on the Blue Sky label. Like I said, I paid $10 a piece for these. You got Muddy Waters, you got Johnny Winter, they're playing guitar. Fantastic band. They're hitting all of these songs really hard. Johnny Winter came into this with the idea that he was going to revitalize Muddy's career, and they were going to do this by just playing super hard-hitting versions of all of the standards that made Muddy Waters famous. Johnny is producing. He's credited on guitar and miscellaneous screams. Yeah, these are great records. They're all on the Blue Sky label. Highly suggested. Here's a record I have been loving. This is the first record from blues musician Taj Mahal. That's right. Yeah, this is a great record. Rackhooter on rhythm guitar. Taj Mahal playing a lot of standards. In particular, a few tunes from Sleepy John, Leaving Trunk, and the Diving Duck Blues. Great tunes. This beautiful record. This cover is amazing. Mine is just on this Columbia with the 360 Columbia around the label. And this is a fantastic record, getting harder to find, especially in clean condition. That's why mine is a later repress. If I find an earlier one that's clean, that's great. But these blues records are not unlike the James Brown record that I showed last week, Soul on Top. Yes, I'm aware that Michael Frimmer gave that pressing of Soul on Top kind of a negative review. But it is so difficult to find clean James Brown records. What choice do you have? Sometimes condition is king. And this is one of those cases. Taj Mahal, self-titled. If you see this, pick it up. Let's get into some burning Telecaster Master Souffle. Albert Collins, Ice Pickin'. Now, as you can see, this is an epic cover where he's plugged into these blocks of ice. Familiar, white telly, yes, I know it's yellow, but that's just from years of the lacquer yellowing, but it was originally white. As you can see, he has a capo way up high on the neck. His guitar is already tuned to a D chord, and when he capos it super high up on the neck, everything gets really bright sounding. Hence to the term, ice picking. Some original compositions, mostly standards, but it's great. I mean, it's really great. This is a fantastic record. It is on the Alligator label. Yeah, very cool. It's a stereo. This one's pretty clean. The jacket itself is pretty rough. The spine is a little torn up, and that's one of my pet peeves. But if you want to hear some Telecaster blues, I mean, obviously Muddy Waters is Telecaster man himself, but This is a different kind of a vibe. Yeah. Albert Collins, don't sleep on this record. It is a mandatory blues record. Next, this is, a cornerstone of any blues collection. It's one of the most killer records you can have, period, in any genre. Freddie King, getting ready, look at him. Freddie King, one of the three kings. He's here. Looks like he's got a bit of a 335. Mid-60s on the cover. Yeah. It is on Shelter Records label. Of course, they were using the Superman logo, and this was one of the ones that had the black box because they weren't allowed to use the Superman logo. Once again, condition is king here. We got to throw all that audiophile shit out the window here because these records are, low down, raunchy blues records. We got no time for all that. I mean, yeah, they're pretty decently recorded, but this is mostly about the tunes and the spirit, and the raw grit. And this is where it's at, Going Down is on here. It's killer. It's really the version of the song that inspires Jeff Beck to do the tune and everything else. Now, there is a Donald Duck Dunn tune on here. Palace of the King, really killer. I'm Tore Down is on here. This is a great record from start to finish. Definitely a must-have blues masterpiece. Freddie King's Getting Ready, badass. Last but not least, we're going to get into two records here. They're similar in nature. I think one has a slightly better set list and the other one might be a slightly better performance. But you got to have them. It was in an antique mall and I've been looking for these records forever in clean condition. And they were $10 a piece. How could I refuse? B.B. King's Live at the Regal. When I was a youngster, reading in guitar mags and things like that, almost every single interview, one of the guys would mention this record. Like the tone on Live at the Regal is so great. And I would think, man, I've got to hear this record. This is pretty great. This is a fantastic record. Awesome set by BB. It's got all the tunes. Every day I play the blues. It's my own fault. How blue can you get? Please love me. Stuff like that, right? But here's the deal. As great as Live at the Regal is, I'm more of a BB King Live at the Cook County Jail guy. First of all, this one has Sweet 16 and The Thrill Is Gone. Two of the most epic blues tunes ever penned. It has this cool cover, very jail inspired. These are on the MCA Rainbow labels. Very, very clean. I mean, virtually flawless in every way. You have to have these BB King records. Get as many of them as you can. BB King is truly the king of the blues. Now, I know, 12-bar blues in particular, it's almost to the point of being a parody of itself. Because it's been used in just about everything, like advertisements and, bumper music for television shows. Played at every blues jam every night of the week, all across the country. And there's a lot of dudes in khaki pants and penny loafers playing ultra expensive fancy looking guitars, playing the blues. But it's important to have these seminal blues records by real blues artists that are just a few steps removed from the source, like B.B. King, like Freddie King, like Albert Collins, like Taj Mahal, and like Muddy Waters, who's about as close to the source as you can get. Anyway, guys, put a blues record on today. There's plenty of there's plenty of things that you can identify with in those blues recordings, especially right now. So, all right, until we meet again, see you later.